Opportunity to have the program here. Thank you so much, Media Science Department, TMSL, the College under Technology Group, the students, the teachers who are totally responsible for celebrating such a day in Press Club. And thank you so much the dignitaries on stage today who have agreed to be a member of the panel here today at the Kolkata Press Club, the very heart of Bengal's journalistic spirit, to commemorate a day that stands tall in the fight for truth and justice, World Press Freedom Day. Today we gather not just to celebrate journalism, but to reaffirm our commitment to one of the fundamental pillars of any democratic society, the freedom of expression. And I really mean it, the freedom of expression is so important. A free press is not a luxury, it is the very oxygen of democracy. Without it, society suffocates. Without it, bar remains unchecked.
যে ট্রেনিংটা দরকার হয় সেই ট্রেনিংটা প্রত্যেকটা মানুষের নেই, কারণ সাংবাদিকরা জানে কোন ইনফরমেশনটাকে উইথহোল্ড করা উচিত আর কোন ইনফরমেশনটাকে পাবলিক ডোমেইনে দেওয়া উচিত, সেই নলেজটা সাধারণ মানুষের নেই। সেই জন্যই এটাই হচ্ছে সাংবাদিকতার সবচেয়ে ক্রিটিক্যাল সময়। আজকে যখন আমরা বলছি এজ অফ মিস ইনফরমেশন, এই সময় সাংবাদিকদের সাংবাদিকদের সবচেয়ে বেশি প্রয়োজন, যাতে তারা এসে সঠিক তথ্য মানুষের কাছে পৌঁছয় এবং এই মিস ইনফরমেশনকে কাউন্টার করতে পারে। অ্যাজ ফার অ্যাজ প্রেস ফ্রিডম ইজ কনসার্ন, ভারতবর্ষে এই মুহূর্তে প্রেসের ফ্রিডম আছে বলেই আমরা এতজন সাংবাদিক অপারেট করতে পারছি। হ্যাঁ, এবার তাদের তুল্যমূল্য বিচার হতে পারে যে আর একটু বেশি হলে ভালো হতো, would have been much better, কারণ প্রেস ফ্রিডম যে ইন্ডেক্স রয়েছে সেই ইন্ডেক্সে ভারতবর্ষ কিন্তু খুব একটা আর্টিকেল 19 ভুলে গেলে চলবে না। যতদিন ভারতবর্ষের সংবিধান রয়েছে এবং আর্টিকেল 19 রয়েছে, যেটা আমাদের ফ্রিডম অফ স্পিচ এবং এক্সপ্রেশন এনশ্রাইন করা রয়েছে, আনফর্চুনেটলি আমেরিকান কনস্টিটিউশনের মতো আমাদের কোনো কনস্টিটিউশনাল গ্যারান্টি নেই প্রেসে। But we draw our power from Article 19 of the Indian Constitution, America's thriving democracy.
Of course, we are a free press. That is the reason why we are all here. We are all working. But the media landscape is ever evolving, ever changing. So the freedom that belongs to the press is also evolving. Things may not be same in our country and other country. So while the press is free in India, it may not be the same in other country. But the media landscape is ever evolving, ever changing. So it also depends whether in 21st century media is free or not, and whether there is still freedom of press and freedom of speech. As far as the misinformation is concerned, I feel a section of our own media is somewhere is responsible for peddling misinformation. We've come from an age of journalism where WhatsApp did not exist. There wasn't Twitter, there wasn't Instagram. Our sole, backbone was to reach out to people and confirm before we put it on air and ensure that there is no misinformation, but all that we're delivering is only and only information. In the present scenario, when there are a lot of students here who are also studying journalism and mass communication, they're born in a different age. They're born in the
where the facts are decided by the government and by the authorities. So I believe we stay in a country which is free, and we are free to say and report on the truth. I have reported from forests. There were assignments that I had to cover. I worked with ITBP Jawans for 3 nights in deep forests, and I could report. But also we have to take care that the journalists are only reporting on matters which are not sensitive to national security and issues like that. So yeah, I believe press freedom prevails in our country, and we are lucky to be in this country. Thank you.
Political party, and the political party is controlled by the press. So the press is a dog which comes under the authoritative theory, which is comes under agenda-setting theory. So how to cope up with this situation? What is your take? Being a veteran radio person, you have encountered many things. So please enlighten the audience.
First of all, thank you for having me here. Manushiti, Dipanjan, Techno India, and of course Smith. Amazing dignitaries. You know, I have a baby in front of them, to be very honest. But you know, I come from an industry which is radio. Unfortunately, private FM government doesn't allow news and current affairs. Strictly prohibited. So if we actually give out news, most probably it could lose our license. Yes, the only thing we are allowed to take All India Radio News as it is and play it out, which of course most of the stations are not doing. But talking about freedom, I think over the years we've seen how press is reported, how in fact as we are moving to modern age, there is more things coming out in the press than before. Frankly, today talking about freedom, that people can go on the streets and protest, press can come out and give information about that in itself speaks that there is enough freedom. Of course, the intensity and the amount of freedom is debatable. Some can say it's 50%, some can say it's 80%. That's okay. But I feel as we are moving forward, you know, even governments realize that if you do not give proper freedom to press, they may be in a peril at the end of the day. So I feel we are progressive. We have a solid amount of press freedom, but again the question mark is how much is good enough. Talking about misinformation, wow, we are living in a lovely world. You post something on the social pages and that moves faster than the television channels or the newspapers. That becomes a hot topic. And best part of the show is, even in radio, since we are hybrid, we pull out information first because social media gets it before anybody else. And so many times, so-and-so's died, so-and-so's died 4 hours ago, and we find that it's a hoax. So I think it's very, very important that we use information with responsibility. And rightly said, we need to decide what needs to go out and what doesn't need to go out. And I really wish if there was a body, just a thought, where any information is a big question mark.
আমার মনে হয়, I'll come straight to the point. Cinema is supposed to be fiction, right? But its impact as an audiovisual medium is the maximum. অতএব তার মধ্যে যদি subtly অন্য কিছু misinformation ঢোকানো হয়, it will be taken as the truth because the rest of it is true. সেটা কিন্তু একটা definitely there is a scope and there is a problem, both. Again, the other side is you have the censor board. I mean, in everyday life we use cuss words, which are absolutely, I mean, everywhere it happens. But the censor board will excise that. Now, that is kind of a fanciful, না আমরা এটা বলতে দেবো না, না এই কথাটা ওই লয়াকার বলেছে এইটা অ্যালাউ করা যাবে না, that kind of thing. We are looking for words instead of the hidden meanings. Hidden meanings অনেক কিছু কিন্তু সিনেমার মাধ্যমে ইদানি কি হয়েছে, আমার ঠিক নামটা মনে পড়ছে না, the Prime Minister, which was based on actually Mr. Singh, Manmohan Singh, accidental Prime Minister. It is taken from a book, all right. It is history, but again, a whole lot of things were planted to my mind. Okay, now there is the problem. How much and who decides that this is true and this is not true? If you ask the director, you say, I've taken the liberty of fiction. I have never said that it is based on Manmohan Singh. I have not. It's coincidental, that kind of thing. So I suppose the most important thing is to educate people. To my mind, cinema থেকে অনেক বেশি dangerous হচ্ছে social media. It's a double-edged razor. মানে যেতেও কাটে আসতেও কাটে। অনেক কিছু ভালো হতে পারে যদি ঠিকভাবে ব্যবহার করা হয়, কিন্তু ব্যবহার করা না হলে পরে it can go against everything. And right now there is no governing body which has effective control over social media. যদি বলা হয় আছে তাহলে পরে কিন্তু ওটা মুখে মুখে আছে, কাজে নেই. So there lies the real problem to my mind. Thank you.
You brought out something very important about misinformation and about the fact that just a WhatsApp can make you decide about who you're going to vote for. To me, there's something else that is happening right now in the world, and that is over-information. Too much information rather than just misinformation. And it just comes and hits us, and we are trying to sift through this kind of over-information that we are subjected to because of the whole digital space that we now encounter, and the social media and all of it, and AI and everything else. And of course, we talked about ChatGPT. Friends and all our young friends, please, let's not get into that part at all. What I'd like to say, Devanjan, is something from a public relations point of view, right? And that is that we as public relations practitioners are supposed to disseminate a certain amount of information to the press. We have to give it to you. Now, is that correct information, or is it cooked up information? Are we overhyping what we are trying to give you? Are we trying to use crisis moments in the companies that we represent and trying to paper over the problems and then give it to you? Are we trying to do that? Because we as PR people are caught in a cleft stick. I myself have been, having been married to a journalist for 50 years, we had that dichotomy that here was a journalist in the family and here was a PR person. So where were we actually going to distill the real truth and be able to give it out? And that's when we found that when we were actually teaching students at both of us, that's when we could try and give out some amount of reality and something that we researched before we could share it with students, very unlike what I would have to do with the media. So there are differences between that. And one more thing, when you talk about media, there was a time that there was management is something where they have certain strictures in place. They are actually trying to see how the whole media can be, the whole media houses, how they can be structured in a